I've played NIKKE a lot over the course of the last 6 months, and admittedly I have fumbled a few times. When starting out, I had absolutely no idea who I should be rolling for, who I should be attempting to upgrade, who synergizes best with whom, and that there would be such a stark contrast in utility between the story, general PvE, bosses, and PvP. With this in mind, I wanted to put my knowledge to use, and along with some research online, have come up with a general tier list, 3 general tier lists actually, that should help you avoid many of the mistakes that I made when starting out the game, or to further help you if you're already playing and don't really have an idea of the direction you want to take your team compositions. Now, this tier list will be broken down into 3 distinct categories: story, PvP, and bosses. I will try to keep things as simple as I possibly can, because at the end of the day, this isn't a deep, complex guide full of convoluted information that you can find elsewhere. If you want to take the time to research, this is here to set you up for success, not overwhelm you with the information that might not necessarily matter to you. And let's go ahead and start here with the story, because I feel like that is the most important part of the game for a new player. In the SSS category, I would place Leader and Tia for Burst 1, Blanc and Naga for Burst 2, Noir, Red Hood, Scarlet, and Modernia for Burst 3. Do note here that Tia and Naga synergize incredibly well, as does Blanc and Noir. In the SS category, I would place Dorothy by herself for Burst 1, Senti and Helm Aquamarine for Burst 2, Scarlet Black Shadow, Privity, A2, Haran, Ludmilla Winter Owner, Alice, Maxwell, and Anna Sparkling Summer for Burst 3. In the S category, I would place Rapunzel, Noise, Pepper, Volume, and N102 for Burst 1, Rupee, Dala, Quincy, Marciana, Viper, and Admi for Burst 2, Helm, Laplas, Snow White, 2B, Power, Drake, and Snow White Innocent Days for Burst 3. In the A category, I would place Mary Bay Goddess, Mika Snow Buddy, Jackal, and Miranda for Burst 1, Biscuit, Diesel, Annis, Guilty, Nihilister, and Anne Miracle Fairy for Burst 2, Guillotine, Sugar, Epinal, and Query for Burst 3. In the B category, I'd place Ludmilla, Milk, Morin, Exia, Tav, and Yan for Burst 1, Folkwang, Mast, Noah, Makima, Balorda, and Uni for Burst 2, Maiden, Bread, Rappy, and Yula for Burst 3. In the C category, I'd place Sakura, Rupee Winter Shopper, Pascal, Emma, Soda, Ray, Coco, and Mary for Burst 1, Arya, Novel, Signal, Nero, Yunhua, Leona, and Himeno for Burst 2, Dee, Neve, Celine, and Vesti for Burst 3. In the D category, I would place Anchor, Mika, Neon, Ether, and Rosanna for Burst 1, Sin and Delta for Burst 2, Crow, Julia, Mihara, Isabel, and Neon Blue Ocean for Burst 3. In the E category, I would place Idol Flower, Idol Ocean, Product 08, Soldier OW for Burst 1, Product 23 and Soldier FA for Burst 2, Idol Sun, Product 12, and Soldier EG for Burst 3. I also did realize that I missed Poli and Freema here. Poli does fall into the A category, and Freema falls into the D category. Honestly, and this is just my personal opinion here, but I feel as though the vast majority of what falls below the A category is, for the most part, useless. You can definitely clear the game with really any combination of waifus from any tier, but it's just made significantly easier, I think, through the use of A tier characters or above. This is definitely not the case for PvP, however, and there are very specific meta team compositions which, if you don't follow, you will find yourself ultimately failing. So let's jump in and cover PvP now. Do note, this list is likely to be pretty much the same regardless of which guide you look at or who you talk to, since there really are only a very limited number of useful characters. In the SSS category, I would place Jackal for Burst 1, Biscuit and Noah for Burst 2, and Scarlet for Burst 3. In the SS category, I would place Noise and Rapunzel for Burst 1, Blanc and Senti for Burst 2, 2B, Noir, Scarlet Black Shadow, Alice, Anna's Sparkling Summer, and Red Hood for Burst 3. In the S category, I would place Morin, Pepper, Ludmilla, Rosanna, Tia, and Pascal for Burst 1, Makima, and Miracle Fairy, Annis, Folkwang, Nero, Nihilister, Poli, and Viper for Burst 2, Drake, A2, Laplas, Power, Haran, Maiden, Privity, Sugar, Vesti, and Query for Burst 3. Now, I don't know if you realize, but I just realized that I accidentally mislabeled both the S and A tiers, so let me just fix that real quick. In the A category, I would place Leader, Emma, Mary Bay Goddess, Mary, and Mika Snowbuddy for Burst 1, Diesel, Guilty, Marciana, and Mast for Burst 2, Helm, Maxwell, and Modernia for Burst 3. In the B category, I would place Neon, N102, Mika, Dorothy, Anchor, Freema, Ray, Tav, Volume, and Yan for Burst 1, Delta, Naga, Sin, and Uni for Burst 2, Brid, Snow White, and Ludmilla Winter Owner for Burst 3. In the C category, I would place Coco, Milk, Rupee Winter Shopper, Miranda, and Sakura for Burst 1, Admi, Helm Aquamarine, Ballorda, Leona, Quincy, Rupee, Dala, and Himeno for Burst 2, Crow, Julia, Eula, Apana, Isabel, and Neve for Burst 3. In the D category, I'd place Axia, Ether, and Soda for Burst 1, Aria, Yunwa, Novel, and Signal for Burst 2, Rappy, Neon Blue Ocean, Celine, Snow White Innocent Days, Guillotine, D, and Mihara for Burst 3. In the E category, I would place Idol Flower, Idol Ocean, Product 08, Soldier OW for Burst 1, Product 23 and Soldier FA for Burst 2, Idol Sun, Product 12, and Soldier EG for Burst 3. Utilizing anything below the SS tier here is likely to result in quite a significant number of losses. With this in mind, I would strongly urge against building anything other than what is generally considered the meta units. Now, the boss subsection of this is a little bit different, as there are two different boss types. There is the single boss, and then there is the boss that spawns ads. Personally, I do not feel as though the category really changes much depending on the type of fight necessarily, so I'm just going to go here and condense this into a single segment. No matter what, in the SSS category, Dorothy, Leader, and Tia are always going to be ideal for Burst 1. Blanc and Naga for Burst 2, and for the most part, Alice, Ludmilla Winter Owner, Modernia, Noir, Scarlet Black Shadow, Snow White, and Red Hood for Burst 3. In the SS category, I'd place Noise, Pepper, Rapunzel, Volume, and Miranda for Burst 1, Helm, Aquamarine, Dala, Marciana, and Novel for Burst 2, Maxwell, A2, Scarlet, Guillotine, and Anna's Sparkling Summer for Burst 3. In the S category, I would place Tuv, Ludmilla, and Mary Bay Goddess for Burst 1, Admi, Senti, Guilty, Mast, Biscuit, Poli, and Diesel for Burst 2, 2B, Helm, and Privity for Burst 3. In the A category, I'd place Jackal, Morin, Mika, Snowbuddy, N102, Sakura, and Rupee for Burst 1, Folkwang, Nero, Noah, Sin, Quincy, and Leona for Burst 2, Drake, Eula, Haran, Power, and Laplas for Burst 3. In the B category, I would place Emma, Neon, Ray, Freema, and Soda for Burst 1, Arya, Makima, and Miracle Fairy, Viper, and Annis for Burst 2, Snow White Innocent Days, Vesti, Neve, Maiden, Isabel, Query, and Sugar for Burst 3. In the C category, I'd place Coco, Exia, Milk, Mary, and Yan for Burst 1, Nihilister, Uni, Delta, and Himeno for Burst 2, Brid, D, Epinal, Celine, and Neon Blue Ocean for Burst 3. In the D category, I'd place Rosanna, Anchor, Mika, Rupee Winter Shopper, and Ether for Burst 1, Yunhua, Signal, and Ballorda for Burst 2, Julia, Crow, Mihara, and Rappy for Burst 3. In the E category, I'd place Idol Flower, Idol Ocean, Project 08, Soldier OW for Burst 1, Product 23 and Soldier FA for Burst 2, Idol Sun, Product 12, and Soldier EG for Burst 3. And that is every major category: story, PvP, bosses. I am well aware that I could go into detail as to why I think each character belongs in each respective category, but I really don't think that's necessary. If you play the game, you know why. If you're going to play the game, then you'll quickly learn why. My goal here is to provide you with efficient information for your time, not take up an hour of it. NIKKE is one of my favorite gacha games of all time, and I hope you enjoy as much of it as I do. If you're interested in something else though, try taking a look at the gacha games coming this month, or this video on the side.